Hey y'all, and welcome back to my channel. This is Call Me Candace TV, and I got another great video for y'all. Okay, so Thanksgiving is over. We're officially, well, we ain't officially, but we about tired of that soul food for right now. So let's go ahead and take it back to what we know, which is going to be a seafood boil. Now if you allergic to seafood, this video might not be for you, but you can definitely use this seafood sauce and seafood boil recipe if that's up your alley, because for me, baby, I ain't allergic to nothing, and I can eat enough seafood for all of us. Without further ado, let's get into the video. Alright, before we get into the video, make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe, and turn on the notification bell, because listen, I drop bomb ass recipes all the time on my YouTube channel, and I'm turned over on Instagram and TikTok, so go show your girl some love. And today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make my seafood sauce as well as the seafood boil. Super easy, just follow along. The ingredients are also going to be down in the description, so remember that. I'm starting off by boiling my potatoes. I just filled up a pot with about, I don't be measuring. I just filled the pot up with, like, I guess about 8 cups. Follow the instructions on the package of how much water you gotta use. I don't know, girl. I honestly don't know. I added the crab oil. I only use Zatarain's crab oil. That's just me. I either use the liquid one or I use the bag. They say you ain't gotta add no seasoning, but I also went in with some onions, oranges, lemons, some garlic cloves, and some chicken bouillon paste. So that's just me. I ain't gonna hold you. I also went in with some eggs because I love the taste that eggs give, and I started off my eggs, remember, and my potatoes in cold water, and then brought it up to a boil. I let that boil for about 10 minutes before going in with my crab. You can use whatever type of seafood that you want. I use snow crab legs, but I will say make sure that you either use a larger pot or just be mindful of how much water you add into your pot, because this pot was full. I ain't even add in my corn. Okay, so let me run it back. Let me run back the instructions. First, we started off by filling our pot with cold water and going in with our potatoes. I used red potatoes, and I also went in with a couple boiled eggs, which is optional. Then I went in with my seafood boil packet. I just got that from Zatarain's over by the seafood section in any major grocery store. I got mine from Kroger, but you can go to Walmart, you can go to Publix, you can go to HEB, Wegmans, wherever you live at. It's gonna be over by the seafood section typically, or over in the seasoning aisle. Then we're gonna bring that up to a boil with our eggs and potatoes, because that's gonna thoroughly cook it. And then in the last 10 minutes or so that is boiling, let it boil for about 10 minutes. Then we're gonna go in with our crab legs. If you're doing king crab, if you're doing snow crab like me, you're gonna add in your seafood after your potatoes and your eggs been boiling for about 10 minutes. We're gonna let our crab legs cook for about 5, and also going with our corn, because frozen or fresh corn cook real quick. Just use a bigger pot like I said. And optional, like I mentioned before, you can use seafood stock or seafood bouillon paste or chicken broth, but the only thing that's not optional is to use a larger pot, because my pot was screaming. She was like, girl, this jacuzzi is too overcrowded. It's giving Motel 6. Our seafood boil is supposed to be giving Hilton honors, okay? And it's over here giving 3 little monkeys jumping in the bed. Ain't no room up in this bed. Okay, so use a bigger pot. I already know y'all gonna chew me up in the comments, but that's neither here nor there. So I was only making this for myself, so just keep in mind you might have to change your proportions of this recipe to feed you and your family, or however many people you cooking for. What I'm showing you right here really only fed 1 or 2 people, because I did 2 snow crab clusters, which is about 1.5 pounds maybe, I don't know. And then the corn and potatoes and all that goodness with the eggs can feed about 2 people. In my opinion, I feel like it can. But if you a little bit greedy, it might just feed 1. So cool. I just let that do its thing. I usually get my crab from the frozen section, or I go to a seafood market. So if you're in Atlanta, I definitely recommend either going to DeKalb Farmers Market, because I love their seafood so much. It's so good. It's so fast. Or you can go to Beaufort Highway. Beaufort Highway got a lot of stuff. They got more pantry stuff than DeKalb, but I personally prefer DeKalb Farmers Market for their meat and their seafood and their produce. That's just me. But wherever you go, frozen section is typically going to be cheaper than getting it at the seafood counter. So just keep that in mind. And like I said, Adjust the water and the size of the pot and the portions to how many people you feeding. This recipe, the portion sizes is only gonna feed about 1 to 2 people, but it's gonna present itself as a framework for you to use the technique to make your seafood boils for however many people. Okay, super simple. A seafood boil don't really take much. If you just learn how to cook and you do eat seafood, I highly recommend mastering the seafood boil. So you can also add in shrimp once everything is fully cooked, by the way, because I know people like adding in shrimp. And shrimp cooks super quick. Shrimp cook in like 2 minutes. As soon as it touch that water and it get hot, it immediately is going to damn near be fully cooked. So you can do that about like 2 minutes before you pull everything out. That's, you know, I don't want no shrimp that's balled like a fist. So add that shrimp in when everything is done cooking. You can maybe cover it for a little bit and check back on it like 3 minutes later, and you got shrimp. Now you got shrimp in your seafood boil. If y'all want to see a crawfish boil, definitely let me know. So all you see me doing right here is just setting my seafood to the side. I use an aluminum pan. Excuse me, but if you want to use like a little seafood boil bag, by all means do what you need to do. I do recommend removing your lemons and your onions off camera, but if you like how that look, go ahead and do what you do. So now we're gonna get into our seafood boil sauce. Super easy. And let me say this, don't be coming up in my comments talking about that it looked like I made somebody else's recipe. Y'all be so damn messy for no reason. I don't be knowing these folks. I don't steal recipes, baby. I gets down. I don't play. So don't be coming up in my stuff talking about this look like such and such recipe. Baby, I eat seafood too. I be at Juicy Crab once a week. Okay, you know, anyways. But all love. So all I did was melt some butter, okay? And I'm gonna go in, once that butter is melted, about 2 sticks, I'm gonna go in with a little bit of parsley, and I'm also gonna go in with some diced onions. You can use a sweet onion or a white onion. I don't know how it's gonna taste with a red onion. Baby, you can even use a shallot. But I'm going in with about 1 onion that I just chopped up. I did a rough chop. Some people slice it or do like little strips of onions. I don't like how the strips of onions be looking, but I like it to be like a little bit chopped. That's just me. But just chop up the onion. Just do 1. And then we're going to go in with our seasonings, okay? And like I said, don't be coming up in my comments talking about such and such makes their seafood like this. Now, let me tell y'all something. I done watched so many people on YouTube that have made seafood boil sauce. You can watch so many people. A lot of us all make the recipes the same way. Ain't no one way to do it, and these people don't be the first or the last people to make it. So be kind in the comments. Be mindful. All I did was go in with ingredients that you would typically add to make like homemade Old Bay seasoning, and I also went in with some more fresh parsley and a whole bunch of chopped garlic. You want to add your garlic in at the end. And have this on about medium low so it don't boil up too much. But for the seasonings, I'm gonna have them down below. It's like Creole seasoning. I did a little bit of onion powder, garlic powder, smoked paprika. I also did like some white pepper, black pepper, and I did some cayenne pepper for that little kick, and I did some lemon pepper as well. So you can just really, honestly, how I've been making my seafood boil sauce is just by adding in all the ingredients. If you want to go in with limes instead of lemons, do what you need to do, but all we want to focus on is melting our butter. Then we're going to go in with our onions, our diced onions, right? And we're going to allow that to cook for about 3 minutes. And then we'll add in our seasonings. And if you want it to be a little bit sweet or balance out that savoriness, we'll cut it with some lemon juice, and we'll also cut it with a little bit of brown sugar. Just don't go too heavy on that brown sugar because it'll make it sweet. And that's really all that's to it. You ain't doing nothing but melting some butter, cooking the onions for a little bit until you can smell the onions. You don't want the onions to be caramelized, but you want it to cook for about 3 minutes. Then we're going to go on with our fresh garlic, lemon juice, and our spices. And you really done. If you want your seafood boil sauce to taste a little bit thicker, then you can go in with some ice cubes, because if you use ice cubes in any type of butter sauce, it typically will thicken it up again. But if that ain't really your forte and you want a thinner seafood boil sauce, you can also thin it out with some chicken broth or seafood stock. So that's what some people were saying. So you're just going to add that in increments until it gets to the texture that you want. But I went in with like a couple ice cubes because I don't need my seafood boil sauce to be super hot like my seafood boil itself, because seafood boil itself is going to be hot. I also kept this in the oven on the lowest temperature so it can stay warm. But your seafood boil already going to be hot, so you ain't got to really do too much of the sauce. Like, so that's why I ain't mind adding in some ice cubes. That's my little trick to make it look nice and thick. And also, what I meant to mention about the seafood boil sauce, it needs to be unsalted butter, or that shit is going to be salty as hell. Okay, we don't want no salty seafood boil sauce. Y'all got to keep in mind when y'all making certain sauces, If it's salted, it's gonna have sodium, and if you're adding seasonings, it's gonna be entirely too salty. Then you're gonna be coming in my comments talking about, oh, that's too salty. So you want to go ahead and use unsalted butter if the recipe calls for unsalted butter. If you add a whole bunch of seasonings or something, if you add in buku seasonings, go ahead and make sure that you're using unsalted butter. If it just go ahead and do it. Now, if you use salted butter and you tell me my sauce was salty, you better report back and show me a picture of your receipt and show me which butter you used. Okay, so this is my favorite part of the video, is eating my seafood boil. I had to take a big bite. I didn't include the clip of me adding in the eggs because I ain't gonna hold you, I was so hungry. I just want to go ahead and start eating. And also, if y'all want to as well, like I said, you can add in shrimp, you can go on with some broccoli, you can go on with some andouille sausage. It's really whatever that you want to do. This is your seafood boil. You can add in crawfish, do what you want. For me, it's just me. I don't need no king crab legs or no blue crab. So all I really did was just 2 clusters of snow crab legs, and I was Gucci. I don't be needing all that. So yeah, we almost done with the video. So you know I got to parlay with y'all towards the end. Let me know down below how your Thanksgiving was, if you used any of my recipes, or what your favorite dish was at Thanksgiving. Actually, matter of fact, scratch that. Let me know down below if your family know how to cook. And be honest, if your family don't know how to cook, that's cool, because you know they're getting older, they can't really taste like that. My family, they alright, that's all I'm gonna say, because they be watching my videos. I ain't gonna say too much. But listen, let me know down below what your favorite part of a seafood boil is. My favorite part is the potatoes and the corn. I'm just telling you right now, the potatoes, the corn, and the eggs. No, it's really the eggs. The boiled eggs is my favorite part, but I ain't want to include that in the video because I was tired and I ain't feel like peeling no eggs. But add in whatever you want, andouille sausage, broccoli, crawfish, shrimp. Do whatever. This is just a framework, you know what I'm saying? I just want y'all to enjoy my recipes and make them how you and your family like them, okay? So before we wrap up this video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And also comment down below what you want to see me make next on the channel, because I'm trying to be more consistent with YouTube. Show up with y'all every day, parlay with y'all all the time. I be neglecting y'all for my TikTok and Instagram followers. But regardless, I love y'all and I appreciate y'all for the support. And I'm so excited to show y'all the recipes that I have coming up. And yeah, love y'all. Thank me later.